The Amish do not shop at survival stores and they do not buy freeze-dried kits from websites. They stock what has fed their communities through droughts, depressions, and decades of disruption. Every item on this list has been verified to last 25 years or more when stored correctly. Number 1. White rice. White rice is the most calorie-dense, shelf-stable food available for the money, and the Amish have stocked it in large quantities for generations before modern food science confirmed what they already knew. Brigham Young University's Food Storage Research Program confirmed that white rice sealed in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers remains nutritionally viable and safe to eat for 30 years or longer. 1 pound of white rice contains roughly 1,600 calories, making it one of the most efficient calorie sources per dollar and per cubic inch of storage space available anywhere. The principle the Amish applied long before the research confirmed it is that oxygen is the enemy of long-term grain storage, and removing it through proper sealing is what separates a 25-year food supply from one that fails in 3. Number 2. Raw honey. Raw honey is the only food that archaeologists have excavated from ancient Egyptian tombs and found still edible after thousands of years, and the Amish have kept large stores in their root cellars for generations based on the same principle. The antimicrobial properties of honey come from its low moisture content, high sugar concentration, and natural hydrogen peroxide activity, all of which prevent the microbial growth that causes other foods to spoil. The National Honey Board confirms that properly sealed honey has an indefinite shelf life when protected from moisture. Beyond food value, raw honey is used in Amish households as a wound treatment, a cough suppressant, a preserving medium, and a fermentation base, making it one of the most multi-purpose items on this list. Number 3. Hard wheat berries. Hard wheat berries are the foundation of the Amish food system in a way most modern households cannot appreciate because most modern households do not own a grain mill. A wheat berry is the whole intact kernel before milling into flour, and in that intact state, it stores for 25 to 30 years in airtight containers away from moisture, light, and oxygen. Once milled into flour, wheat degrades within months. Stored as whole berries, it is a multi-decade food supply. The Amish mill their own flour on demand, which means their stored wheat is always fresh at the moment of use, regardless of how long it has sat. Every serious Amish food storage program keeps a grain mill alongside the wheat, and that combination is the actual survival system. Number 4. Dried black beans. Dried black beans sealed in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers have been confirmed by multiple university extension programs, including research from Utah State University, to remain safe and nutritionally viable for 25 to 30 years in stable storage conditions. 1 cup of cooked black beans delivers approximately 15 grams of protein and 15 grams of fiber alongside complex carbohydrates that provide sustained energy rather than blood sugar spikes. The Amish stock dried beans not just for their shelf life, but because they are among the cheapest sources of complete protein available. Combined with stored rice, dried beans provide a complete amino acid profile that can sustain human health over an extended period without any other protein source required. Number 5. Non-iodized canning salt. Salt has no expiration date. Sodium chloride is a mineral, and minerals do not degrade over time when protected from moisture contamination. The Amish stock salt in quantities that would surprise most modern households because they understand its role not just as a seasoning, but as a preservation medium. Salt is what makes extended meat curing possible, what draws moisture out of vegetables for fermentation, what preserves cheese, and what treats animal hides. Non-iodized canning salt is what the Amish specifically store because iodine additives can discolor and affect the flavor of fermented and cured foods. A 50-pound bag of canning salt stored in a moisture-proof container is a preparedness investment that will outlast nearly everything else in any pantry. Number 6. White granulated sugar. White granulated sugar has an indefinite shelf life when kept dry and sealed from moisture, identical in that respect to salt. The Amish store sugar for food production, including baking, preservation, fermentation, and canning, rather than simply as a sweetener, and its caloric density of approximately 770 calories per cup makes it a significant energy reserve in any long-term food storage system. Sugar also serves as a fermentation substrate for homemade vinegars and fermented beverages, a preserving medium for fruit in syrup form, and a critical ingredient in most canning and preserving recipes that rely on sugar concentration to inhibit microbial growth and extend the shelf life of preserved goods. Number 7. Baking soda. Baking soda, known chemically as sodium bicarbonate, is a mineral compound with an indefinite shelf life when stored sealed and dry, and it is one of the most versatile single items in any Amish pantry. Its leavening function in baking is what most people know, but the Amish rely on baking soda across a much wider range of applications, including odor neutralization, gentle abrasive cleaning, antacid relief, treatment of minor skin irritation, fire suppression for small grease fires, and as a component in homemade tooth powder. Sealed containers of sodium bicarbonate represent a functional cleaning and personal care product that costs almost nothing and requires no manufacturing supply chain to remain available. Number 8. Raw apple cider vinegar. Raw apple cider vinegar with the mother culture intact has been documented to have an indefinite shelf life. And the Amish produce and store it in significant quantities because it functions as a food preservative, a cleaning agent, a digestive aid, a salad dressing base, a fruit and vegetable wash, and a component in multiple home remedy preparations. The acetic acid content of apple cider vinegar is what gives it its antimicrobial properties and what makes it self-preserving, because microorganisms cannot survive in its environment. Commercial apple cider vinegar producers confirm that properly sealed bottles of raw apple cider vinegar have no meaningful upper limit on shelf life when stored away from direct light and heat. Number 9. Dried lentils. Dried lentils are nutritionally comparable to dried beans but cook in roughly a third of the time, which is a meaningful practical advantage when cooking fuel must be conserved during an extended disruption. Red lentils cook to a completely soft consistency in 15 to 20 minutes without any soaking, which makes them genuinely useful in scenarios where water is limited and fuel is rationed. Extension food storage research from multiple land-grant universities confirms that dried lentils sealed with oxygen absorbers retain nutritional value and cooking quality for 25 years or more. 1 cup of cooked lentils delivers approximately 18 grams of protein, 16 grams of fiber, and nearly 230 calories, making them one of the most nutritionally dense items available per dollar at any grocery store. Number 10. Rolled oats. Rolled oats, sealed in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, were included in Brigham Young University's long-term food storage studies and confirmed to remain palatable and nutritionally viable for 20 to 30 years under proper storage conditions. The Amish stock oats in large quantities because they are calorie-dense, require minimal preparation, contain meaningful amounts of soluble fiber that supports digestive health, and serve as a base ingredient for a wide range of baked goods. In a scenario where cooking fuel is limited, rolled oats can be prepared with nothing more than hot water and a few minutes of soaking, which makes them one of the most fuel-efficient cooked foods in any emergency pantry. Number 11. Cornmeal. Cornmeal stored in sealed Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers maintains its quality for 25 or more years when kept in stable temperature conditions away from moisture and pests. The Amish have ground and stored cornmeal as a dietary staple for generations because it provides a versatile cooking base for cornbread, porridge, polenta, and flatbreads that can be prepared with minimal equipment and fuel. A pound of cornmeal contains approximately 1,600 calories, comparable to white rice, and its preparation requires only water and heat to produce a filling and nutritious cooked meal that combines naturally with dried beans and salt across multiple recipes without requiring any perishable ingredients. Number 12. Non-fat dry milk powder. Non-fat dry milk powder is the one dairy product that genuinely belongs in a 25-year pantry when selected and stored correctly. Standard non-fat dry milk powder packed in nitrogen-flushed sealed cans or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers has a confirmed shelf life of 20 to 25 years, and some commercial preparedness-grade products carry 25-year shelf life guarantees based on third-party storage testing. The Amish value powdered milk as a source of calcium, vitamin D, and complete protein that cannot otherwise be stored in non-refrigerated form, and its use extends beyond drinking to include baking, sauce making, and as a nutritional supplement added to other foods when dietary variety is limited. Number 13, pure vanilla extract. Pure vanilla extract has an indefinite shelf life because its primary preservative is alcohol, and alcohol does not degrade over time in a sealed container. The Amish make their own vanilla extract by infusing vanilla beans in a high-proof spirit and storing the result in sealed glass bottles, and that preparation will remain fully functional and flavorful indefinitely, regardless of how long it sits on a shelf. Beyond flavoring baked goods, vanilla extract serves in Amish households as a mild antiseptic for minor skin irritations, a headache remedy applied to the temples, and a natural insect deterrent. A small bottle takes up almost no storage space and represents a meaningful, quality-of-life item in any long-term pantry. Number 14, dried chickpeas. Dried chickpeas sealed with oxygen absorbers store for 25 to 30 years under the same conditions as other dried legumes, and they provide a nutritional profile that complements the other legumes on this list without duplication. Chickpeas are particularly high in manganese, folate, and phosphorus alongside their protein and fiber content, and they serve as the base ingredient for hummus, roasted snack foods, and soups that provide genuine dietary variety in a long-term storage eating situation. The Amish stock multiple varieties of dried legumes rather than relying on a single type because dietary monotony over extended periods produces its own category of physiological and psychological stress that degrades the household's functional capacity. And number 15, a cream of tartar. Cream of tartar is the item most people have never thought about storing, and it is also one the Amish treat as genuinely essential. Potassium bitartrate, its chemical name, is a byproduct of wine fermentation with an indefinite shelf life when kept dry and sealed. In an Amish baking pantry, it serves as a stabilizer for whipped egg whites, a leavening activator when combined with baking soda, a paste cleaner for metal surfaces, and an ingredient in natural cleaning compounds that remove mineral deposits from cookware and porcelain. A sealed container, stored in a cool, dry location, will be as fully functional in 30 years as it is the day it was sealed, and its applications across baking, cleaning, and cookware maintenance make it difficult to replace with any single substitute. Every item on this list is at any grocery store today and costs almost nothing per pound. The Amish approach to food security does not require a single specialized survival product. Start with what you do not already have and build from there.